Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter Billy.
Hi.
And here's where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. Did you ever have the kind of morning where you don't feel like doing anything that requires a little bit of work?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe it's a rainy day, maybe it's a weekend, and maybe you just want to settle in with a cup of tea and a quiet game. These are our top 5 Cuppa Tea Games and a few honorable mentions.
You got more than 5 boxes out.
There are more than 5 boxes. Sometimes you also can't make a decision.
It's one of those days, you know.
The first 2 are honorable mentions, and I picked them because of theme more than game. Because while they're both beautiful and fun games, they're not something that's easy to play over a cup of tea. Let me explain. The first game is Marrying Mr. Darcy, which is a card game with a few dice chucked in there that has you courting the characters in Jane Austen's novel. And the reason that this one doesn't quite fit the requirements, although Jane Austen makes me think of sitting down with a nice cup of tea for the afternoon, is because when we play this one, it gets a little bit more raucous than that. And because you definitely want to play it with more people. 2 is good, 3 is better, 4 is great. Usually when I'm sitting down for a cup of tea, it's just me and Billy.
Hi.
So while I love this game and the theme definitely makes me think of a nice cup of perhaps English breakfast, this one didn't make the list, but honorable mention, so take a look at that one. The other honorable mention is an honorable mention for pretty obvious reasons. And that's Obsession. Obsession is another one that gives me all the feels of Downton Abbey or Jane Austen or, hey, even Bridgerton.
Or that one episode of Doctor Who.
Or that one episode of Doctor Who. However, as much as I love this game, and it is pretty relaxing once you get it going, it's a bit much to set up for a cup of tea, especially if you're playing solo. I do recommend playing this solo, but it's got to be when you have a little bit more time to dive in and really kind of get in the mood for this game. If you like this setting, then I would definitely recommend giving the game a try. Number 5 on my list is Rustling Leaves, which is by Paolo Mori, and it's published by Thames and Cosmos. Rustling Leaves is a very relaxing walk through the woods during 4 seasons, where you're just rolling dice and drawing the little lines around the lovely things that are found in nature. And sometimes you can cross a river. In winter, you could go right across it. And sometimes the water's too high and you can't cross the river. So there are challenges and restrictions, points that can be scored. You can collect flowers and bumblebees and butterflies. I love this little roll and write for just being just exactly what it sets out to be, which is just a nice, relaxing, chill little puzzle.
We really should play it more often.
We should. And there's one for each season, so there's no excuse not to bring this out, even though it looks a lot like a fall game because Rustling Leaves. And I like the fall map probably the best.
Fall is the best season. So.
Fall is the best season. So this is number 5 on our list of games when you just want to curl up with a good cup of tea and a nice, relaxing game. Number 4 on my list is a tiny little solo game called Orchard, which I adore. And I also have Grove, but it is currently, right now, in a travel bag from when we were away, just in case I was going to play it. Orchard is a solo game, or if you have Billy around, it is a solo game plus mocking.
Hi.
Where you're just growing out your trees in your orchard, or in your grove, if you have the other version, so that the fruits grow on the trees. And you get more points for stacking same colored fruits on top of each other. And if you can't do that, in this version, sometimes you have to put a rotten fruit on. In Grove, you get to put a little squirrel on there. I think that's better. The games are very, very similar. There's just a few tweaks to the rules, so you could choose which one is best for you. I personally keep both in my collection because they are nice little relaxing games. There's 18 cards in here, but you only need 9 to play, so you just kind of can play through twice right away. But this only takes about 10 minutes to play, so you can make a cup of tea, let it cool to the exact perfect temperature, and then drink it while you play, and still have just the perfect amount of time. Number 3 on our list is Dandelions.
Woo!
Dandelions is... Oh, no, it's not the newest game on this list. It's almost the newest game on this list. Dandelions is a nice little rondel game where you're just the puffy little seeds on a dandelion floating through the air and landing on these cards. It's really pretty. It's very simple rules, but there's some strategy still involved in here. You're rolling your dice and trying to plant those seeds in beautiful gardens and also blow the other seeds out of the garden so they score less. So sometimes dandelions aren't good. Who knew? This one is actually for ages 7 and up, so you can play this with kids. You gifted it to...
I did, to my friend's daughter who just turned 7 a couple days ago.
We still had a really good time with it, and I like games that you can play with younger kids but still have enough to keep you interested and keep you playing. Plus, it's really pretty, the colors are beautiful, and, it's just, again, a nice game to play with a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest chamomile. Number 2 on our list is the newest game on our list, and that is Sunset Over Water, but the Pocket Edition. This is a beautiful little game that has art by Beth Sobel about hiking through the woods to paint the most beautiful picture that you can then sell to get points.
Honest question, because
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
What are the differences between the Pocket Edition and the big one? Is it just the size?
I think it's just the size, yeah.
Cool.
Yep. As far as I know, they play the same. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me in the comments. But as far as I know, they play exactly the same. And you're taking your little hiker and you're moving him across this grid of cards. And then you're collecting the scenes, which would be the paintings that you painted. And then you trade those in for contracts. It's kind of order fulfillment in that way. So you're collecting up 3 sunsets so that you can get this order fulfilled. Mostly you're just hiking around these beautiful locations. And I've only played this solo. Billy hasn't played it yet.
Not yet.
But
I'd like to soon.
Right, but it plays up to 4. I'm not sure how it would play like that. It plays beautifully solo. And it's very relaxing, which seems to be the overall theme here today.
It might be less relaxing with me, it's possible.
Your hikers might not be quite as chill. So that one is Sunset Over Water, which we just got, and I've played a handful of times already, and it is one that I turn to when I just want to sit down and play something pretty. Before we get to number 1, I have one more honorable mention, and the reason that it's an honorable mention and not actually number 1 is because it's out of print, and it's so mean to keep telling people this is my number 1 just cup of tea relaxing game. And that is A Gentle Rain.
Please put it back in print. Please, Mondo.
Please, Mondo, put it back in print. I have gifted this game to more people than I have gifted any other game ever. Part of that is because anyone can play this game. It really is just like a nice game of solitaire.
It's so nice.
And part of it is that it's just the most beautiful, relaxing game to play. You're just building out this beautiful lily pond and placing the lilies in, trying to get them all in the pond. That's it. The colors are these deep, rich, vibrant colors that avoid the primary. You know how I don't like all those bright primary colored games. It's just really, really pretty. Even if you don't get all the lilies in the pond, you don't even feel bad because when you're done, you just kind of look at it and think, oh, that's lovely.
And then you flip the board out of frustration and throw the pieces.
Right? I don't do that.
No?
Not with this game. I really don't. Other games, maybe a little bit sometimes. But this game, I really, really don't. Even if I don't win, it's just so beautiful. I don't mind.
Nice.
And I feel bad that it's out of print, but if it comes back in print...
This might be my personal favorite solo game.
Yeah. It's very relaxing.
Please, Mondo.
Bring it back. Maybe we can start a petition. So I apologize that you can't currently get a copy unless you get lucky and find it in some little store somewhere on a shelf that nobody saw it. But it really is worth it if you get a chance to pick this one up. With that said, and being mean and telling you that my number 1 cup of tea game is out of print, I'm going to tell you what the number one cup of tea game is on this list. And that is 11sies, which is actually a game about having tea.
We have 2 number ones, and if you put those together, it looks like the number 11, which means it's perfect.
Well, we actually have 2 11s, so I don't know what that does to your theory. We'll start with this one. In 11sies, you're trying to create the perfect tea cart. You have sandwiches and pastries, you have sugar and tea, and it's part memory, part bluffing, part trading, and maybe a little bit of very polite, take that.
Very polite, though.
Very polite, take that. Because you're trying to line all your cards up in order and make sure that you have everything out on the tea cart that you could possibly want. It's pretty. It has little sugar cubes that help you keep track of things. It says 30 minutes. It also says 2 to 4 players, but I have never played this at more than 2. I wanted to play it solo, so I looked for a variant, and when I did, I found out that someone actually made 11sies for 1, which is a variation on this, which has servants helping you to set the tea cart. It also has this little solitaire bowling game, which I haven't really played. And,
I haven't. I didn't know that.
It kind of feels funny that it's in this little tea box. I don't know, maybe it's tea and bowling, which is a combo that I haven't often run in. But again, it's pretty much the same. She's holding tea at 11 o'clock, and it's up to you to make sure that everyone gets what they want. So this one's a little different than the other one because there's a timer and you only have 15 minutes to get the tea ready. You can get help from servants and you can move the cards around. I definitely prefer the original. But when you can't find someone to play with you and you want to play something while you have a cup of tea, 11sies for 1 is good too. Mm-hmm. However, 11sies is just a sweet game about building out the perfect tea cart.
It is so pretty.
It is very pretty.
Timers stress me out.
Timers do stress. So the solo game, not for Billy. Which is good because if you want to play, I will definitely play with you.
We'll just play the 2-player one.
So that is our number 1 cup of tea game. Those are the games that I think about when I want to just sit back and have a cup of tea. There are others, definitely other games that we play solo, but those are the most relaxing. What games do you play when you just want to sit quietly for a little bit and play something relaxing over a nice hot cup of tea? Or coffee if you must.
No, just tea.
Just tea. Billy says just tea. Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see,
or if you'd like to keep watching until we get one right,
then please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to find us elsewhere on social media, including in our Discord, you'll find all that information down below. As always, open tables, open minds, and play yourselves.
Bye!
And, it's just, again, a nice game to play with a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest chamomile.
Why?
I don't know, because it's a weed.
You say somebody made it like it was someone else. It's the same person, isn't it?
Yeah. Do I have to do it again?
No, that's fun. We got this. You can do this.